Welcome to today's live stream. Today I'm talking to you about 5 really awesome benefits that you can get from selling your leather goods. And of course, yeah, you can make money, but this is kind of like even in addition to that, like how you can really benefit from selling your leather goods. Um, I was talking to a friend the other day and about how they had taken up leather work as a hobby. And this person loves tools. They love tools, they love materials, they love gadgets, they love buying leather. I mean, it's to the point where when you walk into their like little studio space in their home, it's like you're walking into a Tandy leather store, for real. Sometimes I'm a little jealous because I want a lot of the tools and the gadgets they have, but they just really love buying stuff related to leatherwork, and I can't really blame them. But their spouse, they were telling me, is starting to be like, we can't afford this hobby of yours. It's like making us go broke, you know? I don't know if any of you can relate to that if you live in a household where maybe you've heard this before. Geez, another tool. How many of these burnishing tools do you really need? I just got some leather in the other day, and my boyfriend was like, "More leather? Don't you already have a whole rack of leather?" He doesn't get it. You always need more leather. But here's the good news: you don't have to quit your leather hobby because it's too expensive or because you're spending too much money on it. There are alternative solutions. Like if you can sell a few of your leather goods each month, this could be extra money that you can put towards all of those leather tools and gadgets and things that you really just enjoy buying and you enjoy trying out the latest things. These are the things that your significant other is keeping tabs on. Um, Sooner man, that's why I live alone. Good. There's a benefit. Um, and then you can actually say whenever you are selling your goods and your significant other starts to give you hell, you can say, actually, the business is covering this one. Thank you very much. So that's just one of them. And I'm going to tell you about 4 more really impactful benefits that you can have from starting your leather business. But first, I want to invite you to head over to leatherbeast.com. If you're just joining us, maybe this is the first time you've been watching one of these videos. I do these kind of videos every Wednesday at noon, unless I'm away or there's some kind of an emergency. But generally, I am here every week, Wednesday at noon, on both Instagram and the Facebook page, the Leather Beast Facebook page, and I talk about all things related to making traditional leatherwork and selling traditional leatherwork. So I'm all about the leatherwork. But head over to leatherbeast.com, and you'll find some freebies there right on the home page. If you are interested in getting into making traditional leatherwork, there's a freebie there for you all about how to get started. A lot of times people aren't quite sure, what the tools they should buy and which direction. So that is a little guide that kind of helps you navigate those first few steps. And then I also have a fun quiz for those of you who are selling or who want to sell your leather goods. You'll answer the questions. There's about 10 questions, I think. And it'll tell you what kind of leather business owner you are. It's really fun. And it also, at the end, will give you some tips, some guides for really creating a successful business. There's also a link to a video that it'll prompt you if you want to watch one of my workshops where I go into a lot more detail. Okay, so that's at leatherbeast.com. I forgot to drop the link in the Facebook. I'll drop it in after I'm done recording, but leatherbeast.com, you can go there and check that out. So let's get into it. So the second awesome benefit from selling your leather goods is pretty much probably the first one that comes to mind for you. When you sell your leather goods, you can make a profit and grow and scale your business, right? So we talked about this a little bit last week in last week's video. If you haven't watched that, just scroll back or head over to the blog and I have a link for that there. But without profit coming in each month, you don't have funds to reinvest into your small business. And if you don't have profit coming in, you'll never be able to grow and scale your business. So you might be thinking, well, what if I'm putting in my own money, my personal funds? That's fine. And a lot of times we do that when we're first getting a business started. I certainly have invested my personal funds into my business to kind of get it a jump start. But if you're constantly um, investing your own personal funds in order to grow your business, and because you don't have profits coming in, eventually one of two things is going to happen. One, you're either going to run out of your personal funds and then the business is just dead if you don't have profits coming in. um, it's also just an indicator that you're not really running a profitable business, right? Because if you had profits coming in, you wouldn't have to invest your own personal funds in. So it's really important that you have the profit coming in to reinvest in your business. And now, scaling my own business, this is something that I think about a lot because it's how you get to the next level and it's how you grow. When you scale your business, it means to expand or grow proportional to your sales and your growth that's coming in. So and to I would want to I want I'm thinking about scaling so much because there are things that I want to do in my business that would allow me to grow. Number one, I'm really interested in getting a studio space so I don't have to work in my living room anymore. The living room is great. Luckily, we have a fairly large living room here in Manhattan, New York. But yeah, I don't have room to store a lot of tools and materials. And so I always have to be kind of mindful of how much I'm buying because I don't have a lot of storage space. So yeah, but I can't get a studio space until the profit is coming in, which it is. And so I'm looking into that now. So again, of course, I could use my own personal funds and do that, which is fine if I had it, but I don't, and I don't want to be using my own personal funds. I want to be using the profit that I'm generating from my business. So when your business makes a profit, that's when you're able to scale and grow and take it to the next level. The more profit, the quicker and bigger you can grow. Number two, you can reach more people with your great work. So if you're creating leather work and giving it away as gifts to friends and family, after a while, again, unless you're an independently wealthy sort of person with unlimited funds, you're not going to be able to keep creating that really awesome work that everybody loves so much, right? After all, the costs and the time to produce the leather work, that after a while, that really can add up. But if you focus on building a sustainable business where you're pricing things accurately, you're creating that profit in your business, that's when you can really allow yourself to continue creating that new work for your friends and family and customers who really love what you do. And you're just going to be able to reach a lot more people with your awesome work and really, yeah, just reaching a greater network of people when you sell more. Number three, you can make an impact and do good in the world. Now, for some people, this is not really on their radar. They're just like, I want to create a product that I know customers want to buy so that I can make money and quit my job, or so that I can make money and pay my bills easier. So the impact to do good in the world might be a little bit like over your head a little bit, but hear me out. I know some people who don't sell their leather work simply because they're uncomfortable with exchanging money for their work. They're uncomfortable asking people to buy, telling people what the price is. Anything remotely related to selling just makes them feel kind of like icky and gross. And I get it. When I first started selling and people were like, "Oh, how much is this? I love it." You know, you're always like, whether it's like you're like nervous about telling them the price, or you feel awkward because it's a friend and you feel like, "Oh, I should just give it to my friend." Like, these are all things that can go through your mind when it comes to selling your work, starting your own business that needs to generate money. But It is a fact of life that we use money as a unit of value. And if you value your leather goods, which you should, then you need to get comfortable pricing them in a way that reflects that value. And one way to get more comfortable with this is to think about the more money you can generate in your business, the more that you're able to do good with it. The world needs more good people generating money to help other people. I didn't come up with that. I heard that somewhere along the way. I wish I could remember who said that, but when I heard that, I was like, oh, that's like really helps me to change my perception on like, oh, I feel gross charging money. It's like, no, the world needs more good money in good people's hands so that you can then do good with that money. So this good can come in a few different forms. This could be good for you and your family because now you can pay your mortgage, you can get a new car, you can pay those monthly bills easier, and it's really just good for your immediate family. This good could be good for your community because now you can give to a local charity that you believe in that's maybe locally or somewhere in the country. Or on a bigger scale, you can do good for the world by joining a global charitable organization. One of the entrepreneurs that I follow, and I read a lot of her content and her marketing content. She has been so successful that not only is she able to live pretty large in Los Angeles and have a great lifestyle, beautiful apartment, you know, house, whatever, with a pool and all of that, but she has so much additional income coming in from her business that she's able to give massive gifts to charitable organizations. She just went to Ghana. I think she donated $100,000 to them and went there and helped build a couple new schools for kids there. So that doesn't have to be your goal. You don't have to be like thinking about going to Ghana to build schools, but it just gives you an idea of and kind of a way to wrap your head around like, oh, I feel weird asking for money. Like, no, you created something, you put time into making it, you bought the materials, you are making a business, and that all is worth something. And you deserve to be getting paid for that, especially if you are a good person and you want to do good things, whether they're big or small. And finally, oh, we're already here. Finally, and I saved this one for last because this one might be my favorite thing. And honestly, it was one of the biggest biggest motivators for me for starting all of my businesses. Even before I had a leather business, I had a small clothing line that I made and sold here in New York. But that is the freedom to design the type of life that you want to live. So the profits that you earn from selling your leather goods, they could be big, hopefully they're big, or they could be kind of small. They could be only to supplement your current job. Maybe you're like, you love your job and you have no plans to quit it. That's fine. Or they could be the result of a full-time major operational business, your full-time gig, your full-time job that is the only thing that you do. So what do I mean by designing a life that you want to live? Well, it could be as simple as just having that extra income to afford to go out to eat a couple nights a week. I know for some people, they can't afford to do that, whether they just don't have a great job, they don't have a lot of extra income, or you have 5 or 6 kids. I'm one of 7 kids. So when I was growing up, we didn't just go out to eat every night of the week. It was like birthdays only, I think. So that could be something that goes into the life that you want to live. You want to have a little bit of fun, a little bit better lifestyle. For me, my big part of designing the life that I want to live is to get out of debt and stay out of debt. I have a couple of student loans that are still lingering, and then I want to buy a house with cash eventually. So these are big goals. They're going to require me to put a lot of work in. They're going to require me to have a strategy for building my business, and they're going to require a lot of focus. This is no time for me kind of taking all the marketing and business methods and throwing them all at the wall and seeing what sticks. Like, no, I have a very streamlined strategy. I don't have a lot of time to waste. I want this done as soon as possible. So I know that for me, this is a big goal. It's not going to happen overnight, but I'm way more likely to achieve this goal, not only with the strategy, but by running my own business. For me, that's a leather goods business. Because this way, the sky is the limit to my earning potential, right? Rather than working for somebody else who decides how much you're paid per hour or per year, when you get that raise, there's a ceiling, there's a cap. No matter how hard you work, you're going to get paid the same amount unless you are graced with a raise. But when you have your own business, I'm the only one that is standing in my own way of my income potential. When I work hard, I get paid. If I don't work that hard, I'm not going to get paid. So that's what goes into it, and that is sort of my driving factor. That opportunity that is sitting there, it's within my reach as long as I am designing a business that I know is going to work. Um, Speaking of doing that, you might be thinking, well, how the heck do you do that? Well, you have a business where you are um, focusing on the customer first. I'm going to talk about this more in a couple of weeks, but obviously, a lot of you know that I do have a course, and this is everything that I've learned and that I've put into place, the 7 steps to building a profitable leather business. I'll talk about that later. If you want more information, you can go to leatherbeast.com and you can get more information about there. But I'm going to wrap this up because we've already been going for about 20 minutes. But these are just a few of the awesome benefits and outcomes from starting your own leather business and obviously selling your leather goods for the actual value, what you value them as, and what your customer values the work for, instead of underpricing your leather goods. If you think you might be underpricing your leather goods, go back and watch the video I did last week. I talked all about that. There's also a blog post. You can head over to the blog and find that as well. So whether you have really big dreams and you want to impact the world, or you just want to be able to buy a few extra tools and materials without getting the side eye from you know who, starting to sell your leather goods for profit is a great way to achieve that and so much more. So I would love to know in the comments, are you selling your leather goods in order to have that extra cash flow from your hobby? Is that something you're doing right now? And are you selling your leather goods maybe in hopes of creating more freedom for yourself and your family? Is that something that's on your radar, or are you just kind of trying to sell a couple of things to make so much extra cash to sort of cash flow your hobby? I would love to know like where you're at with that. Um, as always, thank you guys so much for joining me both on the Instagram live and the Facebook page. Appreciate it. And I will talk to you soon. Head over to leatherbeast.com and check out those freebies I have for you. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.